As a grassroots organizer, I am all about helping people discover their vision for the future. So I'd like to begin by taking you all on a short journey to ground us collectively around the importance of education. And I welcome you to close your eyes, if you would like, as we take this trip together. Imagine that you are lying in your bed just before it is time to wake up. Your alarm goes off, and you get up to start your day. Go through the motions of getting ready in your mind. Have some breakfast, if that is part of your routine, and then head out the door and into the world. What does a normal day look like for you? Maybe you have some appointments, or you need to run some errands, or you go to work or to school. And as you envision your day, think about all of the people you meet and interact with. Think about all the items and products and vehicles and buildings that you encounter. And finally, consider all that you provide to the world each day. You can open your eyes now, but keep thinking about what a normal day looks like for you. And I'll ask you to consider first all the good things that you just thought of, and also the good things that don't affect you every day. How easy is it for you to move around your world? What beauty did you see around you? What medical advances keep you and your family healthy? What products do you use that make your life easier? Now ask yourself, how many of those things are you directly involved in creating? How many of those things are you 100% responsible for? Because unless you are living in the wilderness, growing your own food, sewing your own clothing, and making your own tools from scratch, most of what you see and have is work done by hundreds and thousands of other people. And at this point, you may want to ask me, but Barb, what does all this have to do with supporting schools and providing funding for public education? Well, I spend a lot of time talking to people and listening to them. And a rhetorical question that I hear a lot is, why am I paying taxes to educate someone else's kids? And because I know that this question, when asked, people don't actually want to hear the list of reasons that I could provide, I usually stay silent. Because I believe what people are really voicing with that question is their frustration. A frustration that they don't feel invested in, they don't feel that their communities are being invested in, and they do not see how investing in public education can be an investment in ourselves and in our communities. And because of how big the world is and how large many cities and towns are, it can be difficult to see all the interconnections that make up society. But let's again consider the world around us and all the interconnected parts of it that affect us. The food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the products we use, and the vehicles we drive. All these things are the results of decisions made by people. And whether these things are good for us and good for our environment, or harm us and harm the environment, it's all based on how well educated our society is. And we have to ask ourselves, are we only responsible for the decisions of our direct offspring, or do we share a responsibility as a species that lives in community with others for the decisions made by society? I would ask that you think about how you would answer the following 3 questions. First, how much of what you give to the world directly impacts your parents compared to what you offer the rest of the world? Second, how would what you have to offer the world be different if your parents had been completely responsible for paying for or otherwise providing your education? Third, how much better do you think the world would be if our first priority was investing in the education of everyone? Now, I may or may not be the only one in the room without kids, but I know that I am directly affected by the decisions made by other people's kids. So it's not in my self-interest to leave the education of society to chance. If I want to live in the best possible world, I need to take some responsibility for the other decision makers of the world. After all, how can we have a functioning democracy if we do not all understand how the world around us works? How can we make smart decisions about the economy and the environment without understanding math and science? How can we make good policy decisions if we are not grounded in our own human history? Consider all of the major problems that we have faced throughout our existence and how we have worked to solve them. Think of the issues we face today in our communities and the need to find solutions to them. And there is no way for us to know what we will face individually over the course of our lifetime, what diseases we may get, what challenges we may face. So it is in our best interest to have doctors who are looking to cure all diseases, to foster entrepreneurs who are ready to solve any challenge, a world of visionaries making the world a cleaner, safer, better place to live for all. The only way we get to this is to inspire everyone to learn and to provide everybody with the tools and the skills that they need. I love proverbs and metaphors, and one that I have known for as long as I can remember, and that I am betting most of you have heard as well, is this: give someone a fish, and you feed them for a day. Teach someone to fish, and you feed them for a lifetime. Generally, people have interpreted this to mean that it is a more worthwhile pursuit to help someone learn how to do a task for themselves than it is to perform that task for them over and over again. And if we take this logic a step further, we could say that if we want people to be independent, self-sufficient, and in control of their destiny, then it is better to teach people how to make their way in the world and to empower them to do so over simply providing people with the things that they need to survive. That is the message that I heard growing up, and I believe that is why my parents and grandparents so valued education and worked to instill a love of learning into myself and my siblings. And this interpretation is why I am so drawn to the work of grassroots organizing, in which it is my job to empower people to imagine the world that they want to live in and then help them make their vision a reality. But I would ask, are we as a society truly committed to teaching each other to fish? If we were, we would address the funding crisis that our public schools face. We would stop nickel and diming school budgets. We would make sure that the curriculum doesn't just teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, but also teaches critical thinking, emotional resilience, and what it means to be an active and engaged part of a community. We would engage students around the issues that we are facing and ask them to help us solve them. And we would give students the space to try new things without fear of failure, an environment that values real learning, collective collaboration, and personal development. Parents do have a great deal of responsibility to prepare their children to go out into the world, but we all bear responsibility to our communities and society in general to work together to create a well-educated society. Thank you.